Hey there, you're watching Go on Shaw TV, and you know, it's the end of the summer. What else would we be doing? It's a Salmon Festival edition. Well, hello there, and yes, you are watching the Salmon Festival edition, coming to you from the beautiful, sunny Clew de Sea Marina. And as Mr. Salmon Festival himself, Dan Washington, will tell you, this might be the last time we're down here for Salmon Fest.
Yep, the Port Authority and the city have put out a request for proposal, so if they're successful, this could be a construction zone next year. So we're thinking it's our farewell to Clew de Sea after 45 years.
After 45 years, holy cow, all the more reason for you to get down here. But before you even talk about the festivities, it's a fishing derby. How much tickets this year?
Tickets are still $40, so we're hoping for a good turnout. We've had some high years and low years, and we're hoping for a good return this year because apparently the fish are going to be back, and reports have said it's the best return for Chinooks in the last decade, so very hopeful.
No way. Are they catching them out there?
I think so, yeah. I'm not the fisherman type, but I like to do all the coordinating down here, so we leave the fishing to the experts and the grounds things to people.
Okay,
love to
I
volunteer.
think we just got an exclusive scoop. Mr. Salmon Festival, you're not the fishing guy?
No. I went fishing in 1982. I got here, came in to have a look around and had a beer, and somebody says, "Can you give me a hand?" And the rest is history.
The rest is truly history. Citizen of the Year because of it. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
2013, I believe.
Yep.
2013 Citizen of the Year.
Yeah.
We're going to come back in just a few minutes with Mr. Salmon Festival, who doesn't fish himself, and tell you about what you need to know about getting down here for what might be the last Salmon Festival at Clew de Sea. But before we do that, we're going to head out with Jenny Fortin.
How long have you been fishing for?
Oh, since I could hold a fishing rod in my hand, I guess. Probably 5-6 years old.
Like many Port Albernians, John has been hooked on this pastime since childhood. And as far as fishing goes, it looks like John has learned a few tricks of the trade along the way.
Yeah, we've got a few fish today. We've got some coho and some Chinook here mixed. Definitely, I think the coho were a little harder at their first bites than the Chinook were, but we got a couple good bigger Chinook that, obviously started to pull out some line once they realized they had something in their mouth they didn't like, and it was a lot of fun. So that's 17.
Netting this many fish in one morning sounds like proof that there are lots of salmon in the Alberni area.
I was just out in Barkley Sound, and there seems to be a lot of fish that are heading this way. We've had a really good run of Chinook show up. Everybody seems to be catching the bigger fish in good quantities. It's wide open, so we're really one of the bright spots on the West Coast.
And there's one event in particular that local fishermen look forward to at this time of year.
A lot of people fish sockeye first, right? Then they fish Chinooks, or the springs, you want to call them. Then the cohos come in. Well, in between the two is Salmon Festival. Between springs and cohos is Salmon Festival. So, yes, everybody's fishing, they're all excited. We just have a lot of fun for 3 days.
That's right. With Salmon Festival just around the corner, the thing I want to know is how to catch the big one.
This year in the Alberni Inlet, it's probably half fishing anchovies and in teaser heads, and the other primary lure are pinkuchis. If you go out into Barkley Sound, there's a lot of spoon fishing, especially for some of the coho that we're seeing. So smaller spoons have worked really well this year. And everybody should have some good luck, and I think that everybody should weigh some fishing.
Good luck is one thing, and using the correct fishing tackle is another. There's so many variables when it comes to fishing. I think I need some serious, and I mean serious, fishing advice.
My strategy is to put the hooks in the water and drag them around behind the boat and have a coffee and see what happens.
Fishermen's tales, they're always lies anyway, so no sense me saying anything.
It looks like it's anybody's derby this year. For Go on Shaw TV, I'm Jenny Fortin.
Cathedral Grove. It's one of Vancouver Island's gems, and it's visited by thousands of tourists every year, in part because of its accessibility. It's located right along a main highway. But don't let that fool you. As many visitors will tell you, this is one attraction where half the fun is definitely not in getting there.
It's kind of stressful. Yeah, they should probably do something. It doesn't seem very safe.
Stressful parking, pulling out, and crossing the road, especially if, like Chad, you have children with you.
It's dangerous, first of all, and there's lacking parking and safety. It's hard to pull out of this busy highway and find a good spot without someone honking.
Yeah, there's very few times I drive through when you don't have to stop. Usually you have to stop for people walking across or not paying attention to the traffic that's happening there, so you have to go dead slow, or some big motorhomes pulling out of spots, backing out of onto the highway. So it's there's safety issues there, no question.
But as locals know, this situation is nothing new. The parking and traffic issues at Cathedral Grove have been a topic of debate for years.
I got elected in 2005, and it was a key issue when I got elected. There was a standoff in the Grove around a parking lot that was being proposed.
The proposed parking lot was, of course, never built, but the various sides did come together to discuss other possible solutions.
Public hearings were held in Port Alberni and other places in the area, and they were well attended. And we had a number of ideas that came forward from those.
Some of these ideas to reduce vehicle speed and increase awareness have been implemented, but as MLA, Scott has a preference for a more permanent solution, which he plans to raise with the appropriate ministries when the legislature reconvenes in the fall.
Express route could be built around the Grove, and so sort of coming, if you're going from Port Alberni east at the base of the S-curves, that a route could be built right through there. There's a whole clear cut already back there, and it's a straight run, so that could be possibly an idea that has merit.
An idea with merit, but not one that can come soon enough to ease this summer's congestion.
We're only here for a couple days, so we don't want a stressful vacation. We want to just go and park and enjoy the beautiful forest, because we don't get this in Alberta. So yeah, it wasn't fun, but we survived.
For Go on Shaw TV, I'm Nancy Wilmot. Holy cow, we have done numerous parking stories down at Cathedral Grove over the years, and I have to say, I think the problem is getting worse and worse every year. The Grove is kind of a victim of its own success. It's a beautiful place to stop, so let's hope it gets made a little bit safer for those visitors in the future. Now, we are still down here at the beautiful and sunny Clutha Marina with Mr. Salmon Festival himself, Dan Washington. $40 tickets this year to go fishing, but there's lots more happening on the grounds.
There's tons happening on the grounds. We've got all our service groups in town, the Rotary, the Kiwanis, all having their major fundraisers here. Without things like the Salmon Festival, then the Kiwanis couldn't turn around later on and do Salvation Army and help people out. And the money they're raising here ends up staying in the valley, which is a huge thing. So that's probably the reason we've always just been the nonprofits down here, the service groups and stuff like that, rather than go commercial. So it's a good win-win for, like I say, the Rotary, the Lions, and of course the Kiwanis.
It absolutely is, and everything kicks off with fireworks on Friday.
Fireworks on Friday complements the quality food. Yeah, we've got a good deal going with them, and looking forward to another awesome display. Last year it was just great. People were talking about it for days afterwards, so we're looking forward to a big display from them.
I think everybody that ever grew up or spent time in Port Alberni has wandered down here on the Friday night waiting for the fireworks. fond memories, everyone.
Oh, they're wonderful memories. I remember my children do the same thing. They're both in their 30s now, but the big thing was to come down Friday night for that, and of course the Bullhead Derby on Sunday. So
Absolutely. We're going to be back in just a minute with Mr. Salmon Festival and tell you a little bit more about everything else that's going on down here. But before we do that, we're going to head back out with Jenny Fortin and meet a super summer reader.
You might not know this, but Marie is a hunter. And although she may not look like your typical hunter, many would say she's ahead of her time. In fact, her favorite place to hunt is the Port Alberni Library.
I like to say hi to my favorite librarians first with they're there, and then I like to look and see if there's any books that came in and look at some books too.
This summer's been a particularly stellar season for Marie's book hunting obsession.
Well, certain thing I look for, like something that looks in common to books I read sometimes, and then I look over there and take a look at it, and if I like it, I'll maybe take it out, and if I don't, I'll put it back and look at it another day.
And in the last few months, Marie has added a few key titles to her book hunting collection.
Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief, some Harry Potter, Warriors Into the Wild I'm reading right now, and I've read a couple other books too.
Marie's mom is of course her biggest fan and enjoys tagging along on her reading adventures.
She does like to read, yeah, she does. We come at least once a week to the library. She's always on the lookout for the newest, latest, best thing for kids coming out. So yeah, we've read some good stuff. And it's good for me too. I mean, I get to read it too. At night we read together, so I get to read. And it's great, we've read all the Harry Potter, which are awesome. So yeah, we finished those.
Marie was awarded a medal for her reading efforts this summer. But she wasn't the only kid in Port Alberni to take on the Summer Reading Challenge.
We had a record number of enrollment this year, which is very exciting. We had over 100 more kids register this year than last year, and we had improved our number last year, so it's really taken off. Last time I checked, it was over 380 kids that had registered for the Summer Reading Club, so we're very pleased with the participation this year.
This Summer Reading Club proved to be very versatile for kids to be a part of. They could choose where and when to read, and the only requirement was to fill out the reading log as they progressed.
So the Summer Reading Club, how it works is when kids come, they can register for free, and they get a registration package, and inside the package is a log for them to keep track of their reading. There were kids who finished their reading logs for the Summer Reading Club within the first couple weeks. So they're reading about different experiences and different places and expanding their mind through the stories that they're reading, and maybe even expanding their own imagination as well.
There were lots of kids reading this summer, many just like Marie, that don't intend on stopping anytime soon.
Princess Emily took one last look, leaned out of the carriage window, trying to get her first glimpse of the famous castle.
For more information on fall reading programs, visit your local library. For Go on Shaw TV, I'm Jenny Fortin.
Welcome back to another edition of Art Avenue, coming to you from Clutha Haven Marina. Lots of activities that are going to be taking place right here on Labor Day weekend, our annual Salmon Festival. So mark your calendars if you want a busy week of activities, of fun, friends, and fishing. The 4th annual Alberni Paint Out is taking place on September 10th, and that's going to be around Sprout Lake. And on September 11th, it's going to be in the Alberni Valley, and that takes place from 10 until 4. So for more information, contact Draw Gallery. And the film festival will be taking place. I know we've already had one in town, and that's going to be presented by the Alberni Valley Museum, but their second film festival takes place on September 18th. So for more information, contact the Alberni Valley Museum and get your tickets today. And here's what's happening at Shaw's Landing on Saturday, September 3rd is the Atkinson Brothers, and happening Saturday, September 10th is Simon Kempson, and he's an award-winning Scottish songwriter and leading finger stylist. And while we're speaking about concerts, Timber Choir is looking for new members. So if you're interested, contact the information on the screen below. Well, that's it for another edition of Art Avenue, but a few reminders before I go. Our coloring book, which I've been talking to you about all summer, is a fundraiser for the Community Arts Council, and I just wanted to let you know the extension on that is going to be September 30th. So if you're interested, applications are available at the Roland Arts Centre. Also too, the Roland Arts Centre will be in its annual summer shutdown and won't open until September 13th, so hurry up and get your applications today. The pool mural project, which we began a year ago, is having phase 2, and the official unveiling will take place on September 14th at the pool. 6:30 is going to be for an everyone swim, so join us at the pool for a wonderful evening of swimming and checking out all the great murals that are going to be up on the pool. What we're going to be doing is we're having a fiddle and dance step concert, and it's not taking place until November, but it's going to be a wonderful event happening at ADS Auditorium. So for more information, I will bring it to you in future shows. So until next time, I'm Melissa Martin for Art Avenue.
Thank you so much, Melissa. You always do such a great job of keeping us up to date. Now, we're going to take a little bit of a break. We'll be right back though, so don't go away. Well, welcome back. You are still watching Go on Shaw TV, the Salmon Festival edition. And Dan Washington, we've told him a little bit about what's going on, but there's all sorts happening.
Yep, you've got entertainment happening right from opening ceremony. After opening ceremonies Friday at 7, there'll be entertainment on the stage, and it's free for everybody. There's no gate charge. Just come on down, enjoy the show, walk around, support our service groups with a fish dinner or a hamburger, and no, lots to do down here. And Sunday we'll have a big kids zone thing for the smaller children, bouncy tents and stuff like that. So we're going to try and cover everybody from young to old.
And if you're not a fisherman like you know who, there's a chance to win with hidden weights.
Oh yeah, there's hidden weight prizes, and there's also the Burke Cinder truck has come on board again this year for the $1,000 draw after the Derby. So almost like a lottery, you can even come down and buy a ticket even if you don't fish and have a chance on $1,000.
And of course, 93.3 The Peak will be here on location on the weekend.
Yep, they'll be on location. They'll be taking care of the new revised home partner draw. Instead of the newspaper ads, you have to come down, get your picture taken by them or yourselves at a Facebook location, and they will figure out computerly who's going to win all the draws. So just something a little new and exciting for our younger generation who have their phones with them.
Always something going on down here. Stop down at the grounds. You've got a cheat sheet. What have we missed?
Well, just that we can, like you say, the Peak's on location, Port Alberni Salmon Festival on Facebook for updates, and of course www.salmonfestival.ca for all updates too. So we'll try and keep everything going live, and as updates happen, they'll be pouncing up on Facebook and of course on the webpage. So just stay tuned to that to see what's going on, and hopefully come down and have a look yourself.
Come down and have a look for yourself, like Dan Washington did. How many years ago since you got involved with the festival?
I went fishing in 1982. Came in to look around to see, because I was fairly new to town, and somebody said, can you give me a hand? Well, actually it was my father-in-law Egan said, can you give me a hand? I didn't see him for the next 3 hours. I ended up doing a booth duty in the beer gardens, and the next year I was on the membership board, and all the board of directors, all the positions, all the way up to president, and still hanging in there at president.
Still hanging in there.
Yep.
I did the math really quick. That's 34 years since that first time you stopped in for a beer.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for your
It's the
involvement.
most expensive beer I've ever had, yeah.
And we all benefited from it, so
Yes.
Thank you so much. Now, we are getting close to the end of Go on Shaw TV, and it's been kind of an end of summer theme going, so it's only fitting that we head down to Harbour Quay with Miranda Fatour, who's going to talk to some end of summer tourists and tourism operators to find out what the season was like.
It sure is a beautiful day at the Harbour Quay today, and there's tons of people around. So I decided to head out onto the Centennial Pier to see what brought them into the valley.
We've always wanted to see the area, and it's mountains, it's the sea, it's everything.
The beach, the water,
We've taken the train a couple times out to McLean Mill, kayaking, surfing.
Just the sights, everything.
This.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't find a better place to come in the summer than Port Alberni and the West Coast.
Wow, the tourists sure are enjoying Port Alberni's natural beauty, so let's see what the locals have to say.
A lot more people this year from Europe, especially Europe, and a lot more from the Orient and Russia. It's really changed a lot for us in the last couple of years.
Well, it's picking up, I guess. It's getting busier and busier here. A lot of people seem to be moving to Port Alberni, so yeah.
I think the new aquarium thing over there has been really positive over there. I knew the new breakwater's been quite positive, so yeah, some good things going on.
The tourists come, as I said, to see the natural wonder that we enjoy.
There was one last question I just had to ask. What would you change around here?
See, no, I'd say you guys have it all.
Well, it sure is beautiful down here today. It's really no surprise that tourism is up again this summer. For Go On Shaw TV, I'm Miranda Fatour.
All right, here we are again. We're on to the letter M. And the first word for that is moo, meaning the number 4. Moo. And the other one is what do you call a glottalized M, and it says m. M. And the word for that is muxie. Muxie, which is a rock. Chooch. We'll see you all next time.
There are a few things that you just expect at birthday parties. Some crafts for little hands, some party favors, maybe even party favors you make yourself. And of course, a birthday cake. Yay! But this party is just a little different, because these grade 2 students aren't celebrating the birthday of a classmate. In fact, it's not even the birthday of a person.
They're helping the Industrial Heritage Society celebrate the birthday of 2 of their trucks.
That's a very special truck.
Yes, it's a truck party put on by the Alberni Valley Museum and the society committed to preserving and restoring vintage industrial equipment. And this event that brings together the very young and the very old seems to be putting a grin on everyone's face.
I think if you look at them, they seem to be enjoying it a lot. This is part of what built up Port Alberni, and that's part of our past, and it's good for them to know. And if they can get some enjoyment out of it, hands-on, that's even better.
Hands-on learning, hands-on history for some of the Valley's youngest citizens.
I love to have my kids experience community awareness, community involvement, and it's the history of our valley.
But it's also, after all, a party, and the youngsters aren't above playing favorites.
I like the 90-year-old because, well, the first thing, it has no doors.
The truck was really big. It's funner than the other trucks. And I got to go with my friends.
No doors, big noisy trucks, and rides with your friends. Kind of a perfect day when you're in grade 2.
It was the best! Yes, it was really fun!
I think we learn from history. It keeps the community alive and vibrant. It gives them something to talk to with their grandparents. I think it's all important.
I think maybe that's what keeps us going.
Well, it's certainly what keeps these trucks going. The birthday party was held in honor of a 1926 Federal and the Expo truck that represented BC in 1967. Oh, and a big red Mercury was giving rides. All this and birthday cake too. For Go on Shaw TV, I'm Nancy Wilmot. Well, that does bring us to the end of another Go on Shaw TV, the Salmon Festival edition of Go. And of course, I am here in front of the weigh scales down at Clutesy Marina, where you're going to be bringing in the big one to be weighed. Until we meet again, be good to each other.